Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360. I am Annetta Felix. The Zamfara State Police Command has begun a manhunt for suspected bandits who killed 3 people during an attack on some villages in the state. Zamfara Commissioner of Police Kenneth Abrimson confirmed the Wednesday attack on Thursday, saying the attacks were carried out on Sidika and Giade villages of Gidangoga district in Maradun local government area of Zamfara. Abrimson assured that security team would comb the communities with the aim of arresting the perpetrators of the attacks. Meanwhile, eyewitnesses say no fewer than 30 people were killed and carried out by gunmen on motorbikes. Sadly, still on insecurity, 6 people have been killed by suspected Boko Haram insurgents in an attack in Borno State. According to reports, the insurgents ambushed a convoy of lorries under military escort in Musine village, some 16 kilometers from Gambori. The Nigerian army is, however, yet to confirm the attack. Meanwhile, authorities in Gambori say 5 men and 1 woman were killed while their vehicle was burnt down. Hundreds have been killed by the Boko Haram sect in various states in the northeast, despite efforts by the army to flush out the insurgents. In other news, President Muhammadu Buhari has appointed the former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Tunde Lemu, as chairman of the Federal Emergency Road Management Agency, FEMA. President Buhari, who announced his appointment in the letter to the Senate, also sought the confirmation of the appointment of a new managing director and 6 members of the board of FEMA. The letter was read by Senate President Bukola Saraki during Thursday's plenary, but it was greeted with mixed reaction. Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu stated that the nominations was not fair as nominees were from a particular part of the country. Following this, Saraki charged the Senate Committee on Federal Character to investigate President Buhari's appointment and present a report to the chamber on Tuesday. The Leaders and Elders Forum have expressed concerns over the incessant killings going on across the country. This was at a summit themed State of the Nation. The rising spate of killings must stop. The group, which comprised of the Northern Elders Forum NEF, Afenifere, Ohaneze Ndigbo, and the Pan-Niger Delta Forum PANDEF, also called for the restructuring of Nigeria.
The government must address the alarming spread of illegal weapons in the hands of citizens, criminals, and communities. Secondly, government must adopt measures that will hasten the ranching of cattle and encourage communities to create harmonious working and living relationships with other communities. 3. Government must address hate speech in all its ramifications. 4. We must design strategies that will encourage improved understanding and unity among all communities in Nigeria. And in that regard, this forum represents the vanguard of that initiative. I hope others can take note.
Everything in our country seems to be descending and breaking out. Life is no longer safe. Masses of our people are being killed and being brutalized. And security is eluding every part of our country. Government is becoming progressively dictatorial. The prospects for the ordinary man is being steadily destroyed. 1963, Nigeria exported 765,000 metric tons of groundnuts, the largest of any country in the world. By 1983, we were exporting only 25,000. And today we are exporting nothing.
Instead of moving forward, if we're honest enough, we say we have not achieved the kind of progress that this country deserves. And the only explanation is that we failed to provide the kind of leadership that this country desperately requires to achieve the greatness that we had hoped to over the years.
Experts across Nigeria have been discussing issues affecting the security situation in the country at a roundtable meeting in Lagos hosted by the Association of Licensed Private Security Practitioners of Nigeria, ALPSPN. The experts rubbed minds on how to flush out illegal private guard companies and enhance the security business in Nigeria.
Gathered here in Lagos are key players in the security industry in Nigeria. They are meeting to discuss diverse security issues in the country and fashion out ways to improve the private security business across the country. Among the gathering is the Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC, Abdullahi Muhammadu, who charged the chief executive officers of the security companies to improve on the sector.
I said this is a family meeting. Let's rub minds together on how to move this industry forward. We don't know more than you do. Most of you are retired officers, seasoned officers that have experience in different fields. Some in the military, some in the police, some in the SSS. So we have a lot to learn from you. And that confirms what I saw today confirms that, yes, we have a lot to learn from you. But I realized that up till now, we have not explored up to 10% of the opportunities we have in the private guard industry. We still need to do more.
The national president of the ALPS-PN, Davidson Akimian, also shared his thoughts.
All that we've been talking about in years past, setting up this legal and institutional framework for both parties to work together towards the betterment of the industry and the core itself, is being realized today. And I pray that as we go on, it will only get stronger.
Some security experts gave their own reactions to some of the issues discussed at the forum.
We need to understand that beyond what we see, the industry has actually gone far more than the way people have been looking at it. And it is high time we begin to put things in place. Most importantly, regulatory frameworks that will capture all the relevant areas so as to put us on a better footing, such that we'll be able to meet up with the challenges that is coming our way.
We have seen that we are stakeholders, and the workforce on our body to be distracted from our professional ethics. So we took it upon ourselves, and there was a national body and a state chapter, and every other state has their state chapters too for the Association of Licensed Private Security Practitioners. So the national bodies and the state bodies came together and approached the Civil Defense Corps and got into parley. And on that basis, we could be able to draw lines of agreement.
It is the first time ever the head of the NSCDC would sit at a round table to discuss issues bordering on security with experts across the country.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has charged the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, to end the killing of policemen by unknown gunmen across the country. No fewer than 11 policemen have been killed in Edo State and Abuja this month alone. The lawmakers reacting to this urged the Inspector General of Police to act fast and bring the culprits to book before the situation escalates. Meanwhile, the police have set a team of crack investigators to probe the killings and bring the culprits to justice. Moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari has received the Ekiti State Governor-elect, Kayode Fayemi. Personal assistant to the president on new media, Bashir Ahmed, said this on his Twitter handle. Ahmed said Fayemi was accompanied by Kebbi State Governor Abubakar Bagudu and his Ogun State counterpart, Ibikunle Amosun. The meeting comes barely 24 hours after Fayemi was presented with his certificate of return by INEC after winning the Saturday governorship election in Ekiti State. The National Economic Council has resolved to set up a federal project monitoring unit on flood relief response to address the issue of flooding in various parts of the country. The decision was taken at the council meeting presided by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in Abuja on Wednesday. Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano stated that the monitoring unit will be made up of Federal State Presidential Committee on Flood Relief Response. Dozens of people have been killed in floods across the country since the start of the rainy season.
The following prayers were arrived at: a short time and sustainable way to desilting major tributaries, canals ahead of the flooding session. This is relatively inexpensive and executable within a very short period of time. The council also agreed that there will be need to set up a federal project monitoring unit to comprise officers from the collaborating entities, federal, states, and the Presidential Committee on Flood Relief Response, to be headed by a director. This is to identify locations of crucial on critical actions and realistic cost estimates and implement the flood prevention, mitigation, and preparedness program. Council also approved a project cost sharing ratio of federal government 30%, state government 30%, Presidential Committee on Flood 40% on identified projects.
The council also raised concern over prison congestion nationwide and asked state governors to take action on condemned inmates. Briefing journalists after the meeting, Bauchi State Governor Mohammed Abubakar revealed that the federal government has freed 1,310 inmates nationwide. He added that 2,359 condemned convicts still remain in prison and pose a threat to the prison system.
We have a total of 2,359 condemned convicts nationwide. And the threat they present to the prison system is very, very clear, because these are a set of people that do not have any care in the world, and the system has already condemned them, and the need to carry out whatever sentence that has been passed by the courts is very, very eminent. The federal government, because of its concern for the need to decongest the prison, directed the Federal Ministry of Justice to fast-track the decongestion of prison. As a result of that, a stakeholders committee was set up under the Chief Judge of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Justice Ishaq Bello. The committee has since commenced action. They have visited quite a number of states and quite a number of prisons. And as a result of that, they were able to set free about 1,310 inmates that committed minor offenses with options of fine. The Honorable Attorney General proffered the following recommendations to Council. One, that state governors may wish to carry out a review of the cases of condemned convicts within their jurisdiction as enshrined in Section 212 of the 1999 Constitution. Two, that the Nigerian Prison Service to review its policy on interstate transfer of prisons to reduce incidences of prisoners being held outside their state of conviction. And three, cases of convicts in prison outside the state of conviction may be forwarded to the governor of the state where they were sentenced for considerations.
The Minister of Science and Technology, Ogbonnaya Onu, says the participation of the girl child in science, technology, engineering and mathematics STEM should be taken very seriously. Onu, who emphasized the role of the girl child in nation building, said discrimination on the basis of gender must end. He said this while hosting a delegation from the Organization for Women in Science Development, OWSD, in his office in Abuja.
We are going into a knowledge-based economy. It means that we can't leave any single citizen. We cannot even afford to say, okay, we will forget the girl child. I mean, it's not possible. It is not possible. We need all Nigerians. Every Nigerian must be in a position to contribute his or her best for the nation so that Nigeria can become truly great. And that's why the girl child participating actively in science, technology, and innovation is of critical importance to us. And we find you as suitable partners to work with. We believe that working with you, we will be able to reach the girl child everywhere in the country. And our interest is more on rural schools.
We hope to work in collaboration with the ministry in sensitizing Nigerian girl child to embracing STEM disciplines. So that's another reason why we're here. You find that there is a gender gap. Women, girls will not ordinarily embrace these disciplines. And if a nation is going to develop technologically, you need to harness both the male and the female gender, the efforts of both the male and the female gender. And that's one of the objectives of our organization, to bridge the gender gap in STEM fields.
A non-governmental body, the Buhari Media Organization, BMO, has praised President Muhammadu Buhari for unveiling the logo and planned takeoff of Nigeria Air in December 2018. The Minister of State for Aviation, Hadi Sirika, on Wednesday unveiled Nigeria's new national carrier named Nigeria Air alongside the logo. The unveiling took place on Wednesday at Fabro Air Show in Lagos. In a statement signed by its chairman, Niyi Akinshiju, BMO lauded the president for going beyond completing abandoned projects to resurrecting dead ones. You're still watching news now on TV360. There's more just ahead. Do stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
Now, yeah?
Yes, Oga.
Okay.
Where I go come find 300 naira change?
I better try look for change now. When they do business. Hey, Timmy. I did, bro. I be. I beg, give me 200 naira. Make I take sort out this guy. If let's say no get change.
Take it, give us.
I said 200.
Give her 100 naira.
Yeah.
Okay, I agreed to pay 200.
How much you think they carry people from that place we carry on the chair?
Okay.
No, they touch me.
Now 100 naira. He agreed to pay.
Because that was what you said was the fare. Why you not go pay you? Why you they extort your customer? You see this corruption, what would they hear for news? They see for people everywhere. Now be this so. This is corruption, not in our country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
You're welcome to Business News. I am Esther Vese. The Senate has approved the payment of 348 billion naira outstanding subsidy claims to 74 petroleum marketers. This is to enable them update all outstanding liabilities and clear all debts, interest accrued, and forex differential once and for all. The approval was equal to the adoption of the interim report of the Committee on Petroleum Downstream on the Promissory Note Program and a bond issuance to settle inherited local debt and contractual obligations to petroleum marketers. A promissory note is a debt instrument which one party promises in writing to pay a determinate sum of money to the other, either at a fixed or determinable future time under specific terms. Some of the benefiting oil marketing companies are Oando, Total, Honeywell, Capital Oil, Con Oil, AA Renault, Falawi Oil, and Eternal Oil. Others are Forte Oil, Bovas, Mobil, Mrs. Oil and Gas, among others. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Enelema, says the Economic Growth and Recovery Plan (EGRP) is targeted towards creating an average of 3.7 million jobs yearly. Enelema, speaking at a Youth Entrepreneurship Summit in Abuja on Wednesday, said the jobs will be created through robust investment in infrastructure and industrialization. The minister said the focus of the job creation efforts will be youth employment and ensuring that youth are the priority beneficiaries. President Muhammadu Buhari in April 2017 unveiled a 4-year ERGP to help propel the country towards the path of development and growth. The ERGP is an economic plan that builds on the 2016 Strategic Implementation Plan by restoring growth, investing in people, and building a global competitive economy. Oil prices fell on Thursday after official data showed an unexpected rise in U.S. crude stockpiles. U.S. output hit a record high, and major oil exporters increased production. The international crude oil benchmark Brent was down 40 cents at $72.50 a barrel, while U.S. light crude was 20 cents lower at $68.56 a barrel. Brent has fallen almost 9% from last week's high above $79 on emerging evidence of higher production from Saudi Arabia and other members of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, as well as Russia and the United States. The U.S. Energy Information Administration said on Wednesday U.S. crude production had reached 11 million barrels per day. For the first time, the country has added nearly 1 million barrels per day in production since November, thanks to rapid increases in shale drilling. Meanwhile, maintaining its bearish trend, the equities market closed Thursday's trading on a negative note with a 0.76% decline in the all-share index. The market capitalization closed at 13.211 trillion naira. Leading 28 gainers were Guarantee Trust Bank, Dangote Sugar, Owando PLC, and Eternal PLC. On the flip side, ahead of 29 losers were Nestle, Nigerian Breweries, International Breweries, and Zenith Bank. The top traders chart was dominated by Guarantee Trust Bank, Medview Air, Zenith Bank, and Transnational Corporation of Nigeria. In summary, the Nigerian Stock Exchange recorded 4.826 billion naira worth of shares being transacted in 3,684 deals. Well, that's business news tonight. Thank you very much for watching. The rest of the news continues shortly.
Corruption not in my country.
Cut. All right. What's your name again? Kemi?
Yes, sir.
Good. Are you ready for us for next week?
Yes, sir.
Next.
No, sir. No.
What? Look, what we need here is one who can speak fluent English. Give her a chance.
I need a angel to hold me. Hold me, my beautiful angel.
Cut! It is angel, not angel. Please, I'm done with you. Excuse us. Kemi was far better.
It's not about our rendition. It's not about our performance here. By the time she and her friends join us in our hotel rooms, you will know how far.
Can I have her phone?
She has a robust profile.
Real robust profile. I do not undercut professional ethics. It is an act of corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
On the foreign scene, South Sudan's President Salva Kiir says he is ready to accept a peace deal to end a civil war and set up a new inclusive government. The bill being negotiated in Sudan will give the country 5 vice president and also covers security and power sharing. South Sudan erupted in conflict in 2013 because of a dispute between Kiir and his former vice president, Riek Machar. Tens of thousands have been killed, a quarter of the population has fled their homes, and the oil-dependent economy have been wrecked. Back now to Africa, Uganda has finally made a decision to remain in the International Criminal Court after years of withdrawal threats. The Speaker of Uganda Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, reaffirmed the country's commitment to the Rome Statute, which established the International Criminal Court in the Netherlands at the commemoration of the 20 years of the Rome Statute. She said that Uganda will continue working with the ICC despite known reservations. Uganda has had altercations with the Hague-based court with President Yoweri Museveni publicly taking exception to the court's indictment of a sitting African head of state. In sports, Leon Balogun is expected to resume at his new club in Brighton and Hove Albion on Tuesday. This was confirmed by the club coach, Chris Hookton. Before the start of the World Cup, the defender signed a 2-year deal as a free transfer after bringing an end to his 9-year stint in Germany. AS Milan on Thursday approached the world top sports fighting to overturn a ban for breaking UEFA's financial fair play rule. Managing Director Marco Fassone, among other senior executives, were set to lobby the Court of Arbitration for Sport to overturn the Italian club's Europa League ban for the upcoming season. The hearing is expected to last a full day, with the decision due within 24 hours. Manchester United manager Jose Mourinho is worried by the absence of key players from the club's pre-season training camp in the United States, saying that the situation was very bad ahead of the Premier League campaign. United are without several World Cup participants, including Paul Pogba, Romelu Lukaku, Jose Lingard, Marcus Rashford, among others, as they rest following a grueling tournament. United is billed to play 2 friendlies, starting with Club America on Friday, ahead of next week's International Champions Club tournament, where they will face domestic rivals Liverpool, Champions League winners Real Madrid, and Italy's AC Milan. That has been news now on TV360. Thank you for watching.